or use alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Also, maintain at least 2-meter distance when in public places or with anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Now, let's recap stories that made the headline within the week in the nation's capital.
President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to state governors to work closely with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in the national response to the pandemic. The president gave the directive at a virtual meeting with some members of the Nigeria Governors Forum. The president also presided over the second virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council. 6 memoranda were approved at the meeting. One of them seeks to build capacity of about 1,000 seafarers said to be idling away due to lack of competency certification.
The memo was for the training of seafarers on board foreign vessels for sea time, and it was for a total of $454,000.50.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the Executive Order 008 on Voluntary Offshore Assets Regularization Scheme. President Buhari signed the amendment following inputs from stakeholders on the needs to strengthen implementation mechanisms and structures. This was revealed in a statement from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami. The Vice President, Professor Prof Osinbajo, has also been holding virtual meetings. Professor Osinbajo presided over a meeting of the National Council on Privatization. The council approved the presentation of a draft legislative instrument to enact the health sector reform bill.
The COVID pandemic situation globally has revealed certain lapses and challenges as far as the healthcare delivery system in Nigeria is concerned. But Council, in its wisdom, had actually started to consider a total review of the health sector about a year ago, pre the advent of the COVID crisis. So Council took a decision that the stakeholding engagement should continue, especially since this reform promises a major universal coverage of healthcare delivery to the generality of Nigerians. What we are looking at essentially is a situation where the citizens of this country do not have to pay to receive quality health care.
Also, the Vice President presided over a virtual meeting of the National Economic Council. Governors joined the meeting via teleconference, while some ministers joined the Vice President in his office. The meeting discussed the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy.
Net oil and gas revenue inflows to the Federation account in the first quarter of 2020 amounted to 940.91 billion naira. This represents a shortfall of 425.52 billion naira, or 31% of the prorated amount that is supposed to have been realized by the end of that first quarter. The economic growth in Nigeria, that is the GDP, could, in the worst case scenario, contract by as much as minus 8.94% in 2020.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has extended the gradual ease of the lockdown by 2 weeks, citing the need for other segments of the economy to adequately prepare for compliance with the guidelines. The chairman of the task force, Mr. Boss Mustafa, made the announcement at the PTF daily briefing.
Advisedly, the current phase of eased restriction will be maintained for another 2 weeks, during which stricter enforcement and persuasion measures will be pursued.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is kicking against large gatherings during SALLAH celebration, saying it might put many people, particularly the aged, at risk of COVID-19 infection. Some governors in the northern part of the country had relaxed the lockdown imposed on their states to halt the spread of the virus, to enable their citizens to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr.